Why membership owners beat coaches. Really excited for this video. And with beating, I'm not only meaning beat, I mean crush, destroy, shatter, whatever. And I'm really passionate about this video because I would wish that somebody would have made this for me, because then I could have actually saved 1 year wasting time here with bulletproof and straight going to this. Which brings us straight to the proof for this video. This is no bullshit, 100% practice. I personally run the biggest cycling club in the world, called Bulletproof Cycling. So this is no bullshit. So let's dive right in. So what I've done here, I basically just like scribbled down the area that are like most important to me personally, running this kind of business ecosystem. And I just like grouped it into acquisition, ascension, retention, leverage, compound, predictability, impact, freedom, authority, and scalability. And if you're like me, you're running one of these businesses, then you value the same stuff. So when I'm talking about mainstream coaching, I'm just like talking about what most people do. So like just being another coach, like a sports, health, fitness coach or creator. This is like specifically for this target group basically of people, because that's the business we're running here with Bulletproof Cycling. So that's what I can talk from experience of. And at the same time, when I'm talking about memberships, I'm talking about memberships in general, but specifically about the club model. So it's just like a hybrid approach of membership we just like built for ourselves, which is really crushing it right now. But I'm just like, let's group it as membership business. So let's dive right in. So first category, acquisition. So if we look at it from the bird's eye for the mainstream coaching model, you're used to it. What you have to do if you want to get a coaching client, you have to jump on a sales call. And first of all, you have to generate these sales calls, which isn't that easy. So you generate the traffic, then somehow get people into your funnel. And at the same time, also, there's a trust session happening. It's more difficult to get people on calls, because everybody has been shouting from the roof, so book a call, since years, so to say. So it's getting harder and harder. At the same time, if you get somebody on the call, then you also have to like close them. You know, it's not fun. And you're wasting a lot of time with people who are not buying on these calls, and it's just like a back and forth, and you get just like burned out, and you just hate your life for like doing these calls all the time, because it's just like, yeah, most people don't close, and you have a closing rate of 20%. We have been there, and it really isn't fun, so to say. And with the membership style club model, we can just do a simple trial. So we have our base program. We can lead people into the free trial. They can try the base program for free, get engaged with the community, and then take it from there. So it's really easy. Just have to direct the traffic toward the trial, and here you have to do the hard sales call. So I'm definitely going to give that one the 10 points. So I have mentioned that just like going to give for each category 10 points, so to say, and then we're going to sum up to make this pretty obvious what is winning, so to say. And then we're giving this one the 0 here. So next category, ascension. So what I mean with ascension, just like selling people the next thing, because most money is made in the back end. If you're a business owner, you know that. And yeah, let's dive right in with the coaching stuff. So basically non-existent, because you coaching people, the only thing you can tell them next is like, renew my coaching, so to say. And it's completely different over here, where we have an entire offer suite where we can maximize LTV. What does this mean? We're not only having the base offer, we have the base offer, the lead tier, and then also like the VIP tier. So the lead tier is basically just like another form of coaching, but executed by somebody else. And the VIP tier is what you're actually selling here for cheap, just like 10 times more expensive, and then you also have like add-ons on top with like in-person events and stuff. So not only are people actually like paying you months over months, you're also, it's really easy to ascend them, because they already know, like, and trust you, and it's a perfect sequence of offers. So again, we're just like going to give like the 10 here, and then we're basically going to give like the 0 out here. Beautiful 0. Next category up on the board, retention. It's like, okay, how long people are going to stay with you? From experience, coaching, really low, because you're selling a commodity in the end. What does commodity mean? Everybody is shouting from the rooftop, let me coach you. So people are just like really confused and drawn in a lot of different directions. So there's like a little different people who offer the same stuff. So if they're like with you right now, they're just like, okay, maybe this other dude is cheaper. Maybe this other dude is better. So let's just hop. So people tend to hop a lot. And this also happened in our cycling coaching back then. So that's definitely no bueno. So because it's just like selling what everybody else is selling. And it's a tough place to be a commodity. And here you're basically unique, because yeah, nobody's doing this up to this point. It's just like a unique thing. And the magic word here is community, because people make friends, and you're not like the only person having to keep them in. They make friends and don't want to leave anymore because they're seeing the results. And then basically in this ecosystem, they can compare anything else to what you're doing here, which is awesome stuff, because then you like become a category of one. And in today's market, you have to become a category of one, and also like, yeah, to charge premium prices, and then also have the retention to basically build a long-term business over time. So again, beautiful 0, and then we put a 10 here. So next category up the board, leverage, what I mean by that is just like, okay, how much leverage do you get to what you do, so to say. So it's like if you know how the basic leverage concept works. So on the one side, a really strong man can't lift the car by himself, but a granny could lift the car with a long enough lever. So that's what I mean with leverage. If we go towards the mainstream coaching, it's really low because you walk, you do the fulfillment, you do the get people in with the sales calls, and you just like, it's basically just like you get in what you put out. So it's like, it's pretty difficult because there's like no real system that's like leveraging what you put in. And here it's like the complete opposite, because you have a really high leverage in the entire ecosystem you've bought. Because if you put somebody in the trial, they like it, they buy it, they pay month over the month, then they basically go to the next tier where they pay the coach, then in this instance somebody else, and then you can still ascend them from there, and it just like becomes a beautiful flywheel because you have multiple renewal mechanisms and multiple tiers, which is crushing for us and definitely something way more pleasant to run than basically just like being the everyone, or basically being the everything person, so to say. So again, we're going to give the 10 here, and then 0 basically goes over here. Next point, up on the board, we have compound. So what I mean with compound, it just like means you can think about like the snowball down a hill effect. So is the snowball getting bigger over time, or is it just like nothing happening? It's basically just like months over months happening, the same kind of stuff. So on this side over here, you have a really low ceiling. So what I mean by that, people churn as you get new people in. So you might have like 20, 30 clients, so to say, and then you put more people in, but at the same time, a lot of other people leave. So you're just like really capped hard, so to say, and you might run this for a year, and then you make like 10K a month, and then after a year you still make 10K a month. It's like, what happened? Happened to us. So it's like not fun, definitely not fun. So on this side, you have kind of a flywheel approach, because the more people you get into the trial, the more people also like ascend into like the other tiers. And then because you make way more per customer, it just like becomes this beautiful flywheel, because you then also like invest more into the acquisition with ads, so to say, and it really spins extremely fast and extremely smooth, especially for us right now. So here we're going to again give it the 10, and then we're going to go back with our 0. Yeah. Next point on the board, predictability. This is really important in regards to like being able to sleep at night, and also just going to chill out at some point. So what I mean with predictability, just like, do you know what next month is going to happen? Here it's a catastrophe, which just like means, for example, maybe you have a good month with content this month, so a good YouTube video or 2 reels went viral, then you're going to get a little more clients, but the next month, if this isn't going well, then you don't get any. And it's like, okay, it's just like this up and down, people are leaving here, and because you only have so few clients, at like 20 to 30, this really hits you hard, because it can make the difference between having a good month and, yeah, hardly getting by, so to say, as a coach. So on the opposite, here we have stable benchmarks, because we have so many different things in the ecosystem that just even each other out. So if you have a good month and get a lot of people into the trial, then the next month and the months after, they're going to ascend and also going to keep paying. That basically means, if you look at it from the bird's eye, you're going to have really stable, predictable metrics. They just like enable you to also like plan your business, and also like hire the team and everything, and really budget really efficient, because it's not like 1 month you get a lot of people in here, and then next month it dips. If it would dip next month in regards to like content and traffic, and you would still see the upsells here and the renewals from people who joined, and it's like it evens out a little, and it's way more stable and way more smooth to run over here. So again, I'm going to give like my 10 here, and then I'm going to go my 0 here. Impact. So that's a really important one for me as a person, and I'm hoping for you too, if you like a sports fitness coach or creator. It should, and just like impact. Okay, how many people are we helping, and how efficient are we doing this? So how much impact are we making on people's lives, and how many people can be empowered to do better? That's what we're actually doing this for in the first place. So here you exclude most people, which basically just like means, through having this high price, because if you're doing the one-on-one, you can only charge this price. You exclude most people because recession, people have less and less money. So most people are excluded by default. So you can't harm these people because they don't have the time. And at the same time, also they couldn't afford your time. So it's basically just like they left no man's land, and they can't be helped, but that's not true. The competition is just going to help them with a different model. And here it's something completely different. You help the most people because you have different tiers. The base basically with the do-it-yourself, then the upsell tiers done with you, which is basically kind of this approach you have here. So everybody can at least afford the base and get better results and can do this with you. So basically you are getting the clients here that people dislike here, so to say, because they can't afford the rate. So it's like a win-win over here. So that's why I'm also going to give like my 10 again here. And then I'm basically going to go with my 0 over here. So we're moving fast, pretty cool. Freedom. So that's a really huge one because in the end you started your own business, you decided to become self-employed to actually also have like the fruits of your labor. But here it just like becomes a treadmill. So because we already covered that. If you don't get new clients in this month, if you don't waste all this time in the sales calls that don't close, then you don't eat basically, because then people drop off again. And then it's just like, if you don't keep running on the treadmill, everything stops. And if you also don't make content for like, let's say 30 days, everything goes crumbling down to ashes. We know how this feels. And then on the other side, you have like peace of mind. Because of that ecosystem built, you can afford to hire a team. And then you know what the numbers are going to be. You can schedule everything out, which is pretty cool. Because then you just know, okay, if I'm not going to do something for like 2 weeks, you're still going to yield the compound and you can stretch it over the year. And also can take a vacation for 40 days, which is human. So you should do that. So that's why we are again going to give our 10 here. And then on the other side, we're going to go our 0. So authority. This is something extremely important. We just like realized through running this model in our club with Bulletproof. That makes all the difference because it not only gives like pricing power, but also like positions you in the market as like the top guy or like the category king. What I mean with authority, over here just like another coach. So because another guy making some content saying, book a call, I'm going to coach you. And here basically become the owner of an entire environment. Environment basically just like means you own the club. With Bulletproof right now we have like around 1,000 people in the club and then like around like 200 people in the lead tier. Which basically just like means, okay, as the owner of the environment, at this point, you just like now play a completely different game because you are not just like a coach, you are actually an owner, so to say. And people see you completely different because they see you as an authority, and this unlocks like the pricing power for you to then like charge premium rates. And that basically sets the fundamentals for like the VIP tier, where you then can charge like 10K for 6 months for the people who actually can afford it, while you can't do it here because you're just like trying to sell everybody the same thing. And it's like, yeah, it's not that pleasant. It's also just like you don't feel that much momentum on this side because you just like think, okay, yeah, I'm just like a coach, and here you say, okay, I'm the club owner, I'm going to help people win. So I have to give the 0 here and I have to give the 10 over here. Okay, last point, scalability. That's what we all care about. We want to build a business on this side. It plateaus really, really easily. As I said, 20, 30 clients, and then basically just like go from there. You stay stuck at 10K months. And here basically you have exponential growth because you can really invest in systems, build better stuff, hire a team, or to like have somebody help you with the content, hire coaches who then basically do the next tier, basically completely for you, and you gain huge leverage and you have exponential growth because you can actually invest into your people, your club, your product, and everything else, and that you basically just beat and destroy the competition over here. We basically have a 0 and here a 10. So if we look at it from the bird's eye, just like sum it up, we have like our 100 here, and then we basically have a 0 here. And now you might say, Dominic, this video is extremely biased. It's because it is. We have run this model, we've tried everything for like around a year, and then we switched to this and everything clicked for us. And this basically was like around like 10, maximum 15K a month. And this one over here is basically just like 100, 150K a month. So the difference is obvious. That's why I'm so passionate and so biased about this, because just like, what's the future? And in the future, it's going to be like two kind of people. The people basically still struggling here, and the people dominating here and basically taking all the customers from these guys who can't figure it out. So the question is, who are you? Are you like still stuck in the mainstream coaching, or are you already running this? Pretty unlikely that you have a club yourself, because you kind of innovated this. We just like taking everything from the real world in regards to what people do there, and basically just like health clubs, fitness clubs, gyms, and just like modeled it digitally, and it basically still crushes. So we just like, we haven't invented it, we're just like that, taking it from the real world digitally. So it's pretty likely that it's still stuck here. So if it's still stuck here and want to make the transition, pretty straightforward. We have an offer at this point where we basically do like a done-for-you club build. So basically just like do the settings and set everything up for you for free. And then we also give you a game plan to replicate everything we've done with Bulletproof to basically position yourself here. And then you can decide if you want to do it with us, so like the entire scaling systems, or basically do it yourself. But that's what we're offering right now. First in the description. I hope you enjoyed the video. I really hoped that somebody had made this video, because then I could have saved like 1 to 3 years here instead of basically invested all everything here, and we would already be like at 2,000 members, not at 1,000 members. So yeah, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.